Incidentally, one of the things that's going on outside now is this, a very big problem, is this tremendous proliferation of the use of this drug called LSD, which is a hallucinatory drug. These kids are all taking this drug that gives you visions and experiences. They get high on LSD, which is very cheap and can be a smart high school chemistry student can make it himself, see. And all these, for example, one kid got himself some LSD, and it's tasteless, colorless, and so forth and so forth. And he soaked a lump of sugar in it and put it in the icebox to take later on, and his little sister took it and nearly went nuts, see. And people are going out of their mind taking this junk, kids taking this stuff, and college students taking this stuff. And there was a man in Harvard who was promoting this as a way of promoting. I mean, there are a bunch of divinity students in a Protestant seminary took, they had an experiment on a Good Friday service. It had to be Good Friday, of course. Half of them took LSD and half took just plain stuff, and nobody knew who had what. And then it turned out that the ones who had the LSD all had visions, see. So I thought this proved something. I don't know what they thought it proved, but anyway, I guess it proved that if you take LSD, you can have a vision. But this is a very dangerous thing because it's being used irresponsibly, see. There are something like 10 or 15 magazines devoted to the cult of this kind of stuff, see. And they're tying it in with all sorts of weird non-Christian mystical cults like the Tibetan Book of the Dead and so forth. They've tied this in with LSD, and you get some real weirdy visions, you know. And this is what's going on. And Bobby Kennedy is right now running a campaign against this. See, and they've got it off the market, but the kids can make it. See. And this is a great problem. This is not a value. See, here you've got in the world a perversion of a genuine instinct, the instinct to see the spiritual things and to the kind of instinct that brings people to a place like this to develop their interior life. Now, you don't have to be a monk. See, just get a little bit of this junk, dip a lump of sugar in it and eat it. You got a vision. You don't have to bother about praying or any of that kind of stuff. You don't give up anything or be good, any of that junk. Just have to take a little bit of this stuff. But the thing about it is that from what I have seen of the people, I know some people who have taken it, and as far as I can see, all they get is what we get when we're doing good, you know. I mean, we can get pretty high too sometimes. And all they get is you know, when you're really grooving, see, and you're really, you know, things are kind of popping, and you can see, you can really see, well, that's all you get with LSD. We have to work for it a little bit. You have to sweat. You have to sort of get down and pray and that kind of stuff and be pretty good for a while. And then a feast day comes along and then you get the lights, you know. So I'd much rather do it that way. There's a certain amount of satisfaction attached to the fact that you at least worked for it. But you'll find in probably a generation or two, they'll be giving this stuff out in the refectory. You can get LSD for relief. And as far as I'm concerned, I think you can do just as well on scotch. So, personally, I would like to go on record as saying now that if it gets to a choice between LSD and scotch, give me scotch. It's more fun to begin with, and you could make it fun. You can string it out. You just can't take 15 or 20 glasses of LSD, but scotch, you can go on all day.